Welcome to the Purple Stars podcast, the place where every life story and paw print has the power to touch your heart and inspire meaningful change. I'm Sarah Herzl, your host, a coach for health and mindset, a founder, an author, and above all, an animal lover. In this podcast, we bring together guests who share a deep love for our furry companions and offer unique perspectives on life and the life lessons they have learned from animals. If you're an animal lover who is eager to grow personally, this is precisely where you belong.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Purple Stars podcast. My name is Sarah. I'm your host, and I'm really glad you're joining me for today's solo episode where we'll be tapping into the power of questions. And I'm telling you guys, I'm so excited about this topic because I truly believe questions shape our lives. You know, depending on the nature of the questions we ask ourselves, they can either propel us forward or keep us stuck in our comfort zone. They either make us feel better or make us feel worse. They either help us to be solution-oriented or actually lead to us being more problem-oriented. They have a huge impact how we view ourselves and also how we view others. So while I was preparing this episode, I was thinking 10 years back when I was in my early 20s, I would ask myself a lot of questions that were basically a reflection of the fears and doubts and insecurities I had back then. I'd ask myself questions like, what if I fail? What if this person doesn't like me? What if I speak up? What if I'm not good enough? What if I make the wrong decision? What if I get hurt again? And it's really amazing how these types of questions, especially when there are a lot of them, really keep us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. And for me, at times it really helped me back making bolder decisions and walk through certain doors. And I would also experience in certain relationships that I was, these doubts and fears kept me from opening up or truly opening up, or also, fully embracing certain connections. And over the years, I've really worked on noticing these types of questions and getting to the root of it, like understanding where they're coming from, like certain limiting beliefs I've had, certain patterns that were going throughout generations in my family. And it was like a lot of inner work. And ultimately then also transforming them into questions that actually make me feel good about myself, about others, about life, about what I bring to the table. And it's been one of the most transformative shifts to really work on these questions. And so I can tell you, I've seen firsthand, both in my own life and also over the years as a health and mindset coach, how the right questions can really be a game changer, because, they then start to open doors that you never thought were even there. They spark breakthroughs to help you recognize opportunities that were previously hidden. They help you to tap into deeper clarity and insight and more health and love and success. And it's just amazing. I absolutely love it. And before I'm going to talk you through a simple 4-step process that can help you go through this exact transformation yourself over time, I want to briefly explain the 2 types of questions that there are. So the first type is really focusing, like in a nutshell, on what could go wrong. And the second type is really focusing on what could go right. And the first type, when you focus mainly on what could go wrong, they're also called loss-based questions. And as you know from my own story I just shared, they come from a place of fear and doubt and insecurity, frustration, and certain patterns and limiting beliefs. And when we talk about the second type of questions, which is focusing mainly on what could go right, they're also called gain-based questions. And they stem from a place of curiosity and courage and self-confidence and self-belief and positivity. And they are amazing. I love them. They're just, like these game-based questions I always see them like friends, friends that cheer you on and friends that open doors for you and allow you to, in difficult situations, actually to come up with solutions. And it just doesn't mean that everything in life suddenly becomes perfect, but it means that these are tools that help you navigate challenges and navigate life with more resilience and more clarity and more confidence. And I mentioned earlier that I was asking myself a lot the questions like, what if I fail? And what if I don't have what it takes? And over the years, I've really worked a lot on this, and I came to a place now where I'm actually asking myself now, you know what? What if I actually have what it takes? And what if I actually succeed in a way that's beyond my imagination and beyond my wildest dreams? And before, I would also often ask myself, what if I get hurt? And now when I meet new people, I'm always like trying to ask myself, what if this connection actually brings me more joy and more love and more inspiration and more courage than I can even imagine? And I would also because I had a lot of health-related challenges from my teenage years and my early 20s. And I also often think what if it never gets better? And really having worked through the emotional and mental roots of my physical symptoms and really allowed me to come to a place where I'm actually, now asking myself when I, let's say, have a sore throat or a flu or when I have pain in my ear or whatever it is, or headache, I'm actually asking myself rather than why is this never getting better? I'm actually asking myself, what is my body right now teaching me? And, I see it with a lot of my clients. As an example, if someone was afraid to speak up and think, what if I share my opinion? Will people reject me? This often can come, from certain experience they have been through in their childhood and their teenage years. It can be, of course, also, for example, a cultural thing or something they've experienced that their parents, were doing. It could be that, that they were one out of 4 kids and they were maybe one of the younger ones and they were shut down when they shared their voice. It could be, that they got bullied at school when they were speaking up or sharing their knowledge or sharing their opinion. So going, really working through those roots really helped them then come to a place and actually not just believe that their voice matters and that it's important to share their opinion, but actually whenever, a certain fear comes up, that they reframe it and then ask themselves, what if it actually matters that I share my voice? What if it actually helps others if I'm doing it? What if it actually inspires and empowers those around me? So these are just a few examples. And now I would love to share with you a 4-step process that you can follow. And it's, I'm calling it the RF transformation method. And this stands for recognizing, feeling, reframing, and feeling. And I'm going to talk you through each step. And The first step is recognizing. So this is a step where you simply notice your loss-based questions that come up and you write them down, whether it's in your notes app, on a piece of paper, or in a journal. And the act of simply getting them out of your head, becoming aware of them, and getting them into a physical space will already shift something. And for you, don't be too focused on the questions that I shared, because for you, it could be something completely different. It could be like, what if I don't find the right person for me? Or what if my friend gets upset because I cannot come to dinner? Or what if I don't find my purpose? Or it could even be a question like, oh man, why am I always so stupid? It's like, why is it always me? Why is it always happening to me? So just simply noticing them without judging yourself. And then once you have your loss-based question or questions, you move into step 2, which is feeling. So you sit with them, sit with your questions, and notice how they make you feel, whether it's emotionally or physically, also mentally. Notice, do they make you feel anxious? Do they make you feel sad or frustrated or angry? Is any tension coming up in your body, in your jaw, or a certain tightness in your chest, or any other discomfort? And I invite you to work through these feelings that come up, whether it's journaling about it, or, consider using tapping or meditation, or talking to a coach, a therapist, to explore them more deeply. And this step actually helps you then to get to the root of these questions, the underlying limiting beliefs and patterns and experience that led to question XYZ come up regularly. And it really starts a process of deeper healing then. So, because ultimately it's really not just about flipping a question, it's about shifting the energy behind it in a meaningful way that it is going to be a long-lasting, genuine transformation for you. So after you recognized your questions, you wrote them down, and you held some space to feel and talk through them, you are going to reframe your questions. And I love this step. I find it so much cool. So you're going to look at the question or questions and ask yourself, how can I turn this into a winner question? How can I turn it into a question that makes me feel empowered? Or you can ask yourself, what would a person that believes in them actually ask themselves instead? And, it could be then, instead of let's say your question was, what if I'm not good enough? It could turn into, what if I actually have everything that it needs? Or let's say you're hesitant to open up yourself and think, what if I can't trust this person? And it's actually, coming from a fear and not a gut feeling. Then you could flip this question into, what if actually trusting this person opens doors to such a beautiful connection that I will feel so rewarded? Or, if you ask yourself next time, oh man, what if I make the wrong decision? And, I feel constantly trying to figure it out. You can flip it and ask yourself, what if I start trusting myself to handle whatever comes next? So there are many different examples, but I hope you kind of get the idea by the ones that I just mentioned. So, and then after you framed your question, you check in again with yourself and notice how you feel. How does this new question now make you feel? Does it spark excitement or hope or clarity? It might also be that it's just neutral. So there is no wrong feeling that can come up, but it's just important to feel the difference in your energy as you embrace a new perspective. And yeah, that's really how the 4-step process is. It's like, first, recognizing the limiting questions in your mind, write them down. Second, feel everything that's connected with these questions. The third one is reframing it, turning it into a powerful question. And the fourth one is feel again and reassess how the new question now is making you feel. And that's the RF transformation method. And by consciously practicing these steps, you will gradually rewire your brain to ask more empowering questions. And this is not a quick fix. It is a journey. It's not a sprint. And I always love to imagine it. It's like a muscle that needs practice. And the more we work at it, the stronger it gets. And the more natural it will also be for us to ask ourselves questions that make us feel good, that empower us, that help us to be more resilient. And there are so many benefits of changing the questions we ask ourselves. And those benefits, as I mentioned earlier, is like, you will start making bolder decisions. You'll start feeling better about yourself. You will feel more confident walking into certain rooms. You will feel more confident when a certain challenge comes up. You will feel more empowered, more inspired. You will also experience relationships in a different way, because ultimately we can always meet others only at the depth we meet ourselves. And it will be interesting because your communication will also change with other people, because ultimately when you ask yourself different kind of questions, you will also start asking others different kind of questions. And this not just inspires them to think outside the box and to have more positive, uplifting questions, but it will allow you to also get to know them on a deeper level. And so I invite you to give it a shot for 7 days and see how you like it. And obviously afterwards, you can do it for as long as you want. And I really actually encourage you to do it for a lifetime, because it is a lifetime practice. But for a start, I think 7 days to give it a shot to see if you like this method. It's great. And, you can invite a friend to join you on the journey. I think like having someone to share certain experiences can be really exciting. It can keep you motivated and bring you also maybe more insight. And before we wrap up, I have a little bonus tip for you. And this might sound cliche, but I cannot stress enough the importance of surrounding yourself with positive influences, because it makes it so much easier on yourself by surrounding yourself with books, with people, with content, with music, with movies that inspire your positivity, that inspire your growth, that inspire you to be bold, to go for your dreams, to have a healthy relationship, to put the book out there that you have always wanted to write, to start the podcast that you always have been dreaming about, to start your bakery, or to, have a kid, or to move abroad. Whatever it is so crucial, and it makes it really so much easier for ourselves. Because when you immerse yourself in an environment that nurtures game-based thinking, it naturally becomes easier to adopt this mindset. And, you can also consider joining certain communities, or attending events, or listening, really to podcasts that are focused on empowerment and positive change. So that's just like a little extra bonus tip that I think is very important. And as you take your steps towards shifting your questions, I truly hope that the RF method is an approach that resonates with you and brings insights into your life that make you feel good, that lift you up. And every little shift counts. So don't underestimate little shifts because they count, and altogether they lead into this transformative impact. And if you'd like to share your experience, your whatever you notice, or any breakthroughs, I'll absolutely love to hear from you. Send us a message on Instagram or leave a comment, and I'm always excited to connect with you. And also, I hope I'm going to see you again back next Wednesday.